Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today is Brian.
Hey.
And Alex.
Hello. I don't get a pop?
No, I was trying to come up with a different sound effect, and it just didn't happen. Yeah, that one. Whatever the hell that's. A bloomin' onion. While you're listening or even watching along, why not head over to MidwestPodcastNetwork.com/support. Check out all the various ways you can support us. The support store where you can buy shirts, hoodies, koozies, all that good stuff. We also have a donate button if you want to donate money if you don't feel like buying anything. Any little bit helps. Even if you don't feel like doing any of that, check out the Amazon affiliate link that we have there, because if you buy stuff through that link, we end up getting a little bit of money from Amazon for pointing people to their outlet. And most importantly, don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcatchers such as iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and TuneIn Radio, and Google Play Podcasts. And as always, if you don't like what you hear, or even if you do like what you hear, or even if you don't, that's the way I say it. Please do send us feedback via email at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com or via Twitter at MGN Podcast. And don't forget to add us on Instagram at Midwest Game Nerds. And now that we're streaming on Twitch, don't forget to follow us there. We are attempting to step up our social media game. We had a little bit of mishap this week in miscommunicating who's doing which days.
Alex failed.
So just be sure to check us out on the various social media outlets, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, because we want to update those more often and engage you guys as listeners and viewers a little bit more. We love hearing from you, so please do that. Today, we are going to go over a good portion of the E3 announcements, pretty much everything, like all the big stuff, I think, is kind of the plan. But before we do that, we did get some feedback, and Alex, I think you get the honors of reading this one off and responding. So
this one comes in from Drew Stye. I guess I'll call him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Drew, friend of the show, Drew, who we've known for a long time.
I've known Drew since 7th grade. He's one of my best friends. I stood up in his wedding.
There you go. Hey, Midwest Game Nerds. I listened to your podcast on the top 50 games that all gamers should play. John had recently introduced me to the podcast, and I was interested to learn about games that I haven't played yet. Alex introduced Spelunky to the list. Based on the discussion, I was intrigued by this game. It sounded like it would be fun and challenging. I was wrong. At first, the game matched my expectations. It was difficult with traps and enemies around every corner. The randomly generated levels provided another degree of difficulty. This slowed down my ability to learn the game mechanics and improve my performance. However, I finally mastered the game and beat the first 4 levels of Spelunky. I quickly learned that I had mastered nothing. The next 4 levels in the jungle were far more difficult than the first 4 levels. I can't count how many times I was killed by a tiki trap. They're a bitch, for sure. These are possibly the most challenging aspect of the game. I honestly felt like the game designers were geniuses who knew exactly how I would play and place traps to ensure my failure. Despite their efforts, I mastered the next 4 levels of Spelunky. The next 4 levels in the ice caves felt like a break. There were some strong and explosive new enemies, but I felt like I could slide right through these levels, pun intended. The last 4 levels in the temple sucked. The area felt like a combination of the most difficult aspects of the game, plus some new enemies that would basically kill you on the spot. It was especially frustrating when I would spawn next to Anubis, which would almost guarantee death. I much prefer the Anubis from Zone of the Enders. I never thought I would beat these levels. It took me a while, but I finally was able to reach Olmec, the final boss of the overworld, I suppose I should say. As I should have expected, he quickly killed me. After several hours and over 450 total deaths later, I finally beat the game. I felt so accomplished to have beaten what I consider to be a nearly impossible game. No, I didn't play from the beginning to beat it. No, I haven't beaten or even been to hell. However, I still consider my completion of the game a victory. I don't know why I felt compelled to write such a long email. I think I may have just wanted you to understand my experience with this game. Maybe so you can share this experience with others so they never even think about playing Spelunky. It is the most difficult and frustrating game I have ever played. Alex, you are to blame for introducing this to me. While I recognize it is my choice to play it, just know that you are responsible for my anger and frustration. This is why I texted John with a picture of my victory included in this email, along with the following statement. Tell your brother I hate him for introducing me to Spelunky. He encouraged me to share my message with the podcast, hence this email. Alex, I wish you the best in life, but know I will forever resent you for introducing me to such a nearly impossible game that will haunt me for years to come. 1, because I want to beat it from the beginning and beat hell, and 2, because I know I will give in to this desire and be met with even more anger, frustration, and disappointment because I honestly don't think I can do it. Too long, didn't read. Spelunky is nearly impossible. Alex, you should feel bad for introducing me and others to this game. Drew. Drew, That is a perfect microcosm of Spelunky experience in a written email form. I also have never been to hell. You essentially have to like collect certain items and beat the boss to then go to 4 even harder levels. It's ridiculously hard. And then on top of that, there's another meta game that I can tell Drew about, where it's called the Eggplant Run.
You're trying to ruin his life further?
Yeah. So there's a boss. The boss in hell will die in one hit if you can carry an eggplant from essentially one of the first 4 levels of the game, because that's the only place you can get it, all the way to the end of hell. And I can't remember exactly how to get the eggplant, but there's some really ridiculous conditions. You basically have to have like a perfect run in order to do this. And there's like one man I know who did it first, and his run is like very highly popularized. He was doing it on Twitch and all kinds of stuff, and it's out there for people to watch.
And that's the only person that's ever done it.
I don't know if anybody's done it since then, but I just know that it's a ridiculous task and that not many people have done it, if more than him. So, Drew, I'm glad that you had the most optimal Spelunky experience that you possibly could, and you're very welcome for all of your suffering and anguish.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect.
I don't apologize at all.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. He said he knows, like
It's his fault.
He didn't have to.
Yeah,
Kind of makes me want to play that game more than I've ever wanted to.
it's fantastic.
You're kind of like that crack dealer that gives like the first little rock for free.
yeah.
and you get the kids hooked, and then you just keep feeding them.
I don't think it's me. I think Spelunky is.
Yeah, but you're the one who introduced.
I'm
You're
the
that.
dude-
You're the friend.
I'm the connections guy.
You're the friend who like was like, oh yeah, hey, you should smoke this, bro. And
Just one spelunk.
And then when Drew comes to you and he's like, "Oh man, I think I'm addicted," you're like, "Oh no, bro, I'm not addicted. My brother smokes this stuff every day. He's not addicted." Like, that's who you are.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I'm that guy because you're the.
I'm your brother.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
My brother smokes this every day and he's not addicted.
No, it's that was a great email. Thank you, Drew.
It was awesome.
Everybody should play Spelunky,
Yeah,
even if it ruins your life.
for sure. Anyways, you guys have been playing
Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds.
Yes.
Plunk
very-
Bat.
Brian wanted to talk about it. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
PUBG, as
Yeah.
it's known by the kids, or Plunk Bat, as it's known by the kids.
I like
Plunk Bat?
Plunk Bat.
I like Plunk
I
Bat.
didn't know that one.
PLUNKBAT.
That's a good one.
Plunk
I like
Bat.
that.
Yeah,
It's a little longer, but
a little bit.
I can get behind it. Yeah, I've been pretty obsessed with that game, and it's
We talked about it a little bit last time. For those who don't remember, third-person shooter,
100 people.
Battle Royale.
style. I didn't say Hunger Games this time. And available on Steam. Recently announced to be an Xbox console timed exclusive.
Yeah, so it kind of fits in with this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
actually.
bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with it.
Why are you obsessed with it?
I
Brian?
don't know. It's just like totally different than all the other games I play as far as I mean, it's competitive multiplayer, sure, but it's you versus everyone,
Yeah.
and games are just not like that nowadays. It's always team-based bullshit.
Wasn't DayZ and Arma 2 like trying to do that?
Yeah,
Kind
but
of.
this I tried DayZ too, and it was intriguing, but it was real rough.
And games of
Like,
DayZ
this
and
game-
Arma can take forever, like
Right.
a long time.
Yeah.
This has a definitive
This is
end.
basically just like the rounds. I think top out at 45 minutes is what
It's
I've
very
heard.
rare that they last that long, at least for
Exactly.
people like us that suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just exhilarating. I mean, and there's so many factors in playing it. It's not just whoever has the best skill at shooting, which
Right.
that does play into it a lot. And
Yeah.
we are terrible shots, which is why we usually end up losing in the end. But you can get by without shooting at all. Like one of the best games I had playing solo, so me versus 99 other people on their own. I didn't even find a gun.
Yeah.
I didn't fire a single shot, and I got within the top 10, I think maybe even 6 or something,
Yeah, we still haven't won
just
the
by
game.
being smart.
We haven't gotten the chicken dinner, which is what you get when you finish when you actually get first place in the round.
We got to number 2 today in
You
number
and Jim
2 in
did.
teams. Yeah.
Nice.
But
And that was pretty awesome. But
It's
we got
funny.
shot.
Sorry, I said thanks for watching, and the person left.
that's fine.
There's 4 people now.
Yeah.
There were 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty good stories happen too. We had a
Yes.
game yesterday where Brian was like, "Hey, let's get in this car. We're gonna go to this place," and we got over to this place, and he's like, "Oh, great! There's a hangar here. I can like park the car in here so that people don't know it's here."
Yeah.
So he like backs the car. He essentially like Ace Ventura's the car into the garage, and then we get out and we're like, "Oh, hey, it doesn't look like anybody's here. Let's go and loot these houses." And we go into these houses and we hear this, shukum, and these guys drove off with our car.
I think it was just one
Like,
guy.
they were just watching us, and like, I don't know how many people it was, but somebody was just watching us get out of the car and go into the building. And he's
Yes.
like, "I'm gonna take your car." So kind of seeing like those kinds of experiences coming out of this game, I think are some of the stuff that makes
Yeah.
it really fun. We have a debate, like the closest that we got together, like Brian and I, we were doing duos last night, and we got to the final. Didn't we get to like third?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so there were 6 people left,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was us and 4 other people, so 2 other duos. And we were, the map was constricting a lot, and we were on this cliff kind of hidden from everybody, and these people converged on these ruins on top of the cliff, so we started going up it because we had to get it back into the circle as it
Yeah.
constricted. And Brian saw some people after getting the sweet Tommy gun that we looted out of a supply drop.
That was in the water. So we were the only ones that were able to get it because we were on a boat.
Yeah. So we pulled up in a boat. He got the Tommy gun. We got back in the boat, pulled over to the island. It kept constricting. We got down to 6 people left. We get up to this hill. Brian's got his Tommy gun, and he sees this guy, and he's like, "I'm going to kill this guy because there's like 6 people left, and we need to start killing people." So he shoots this guy and kills him, and then his partner must have turned around or something, or came into view and ended up killing Brian. And then also, like, I scooted up against the wall, but he came around and killed me because he knew there were 2 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some debate as to whether or not we would have gotten it down to 4 people if Brian had
It's-
waited to shoot, because he may have just alerted them to our
Yeah.
presence by shooting.
I
But we'll
gotcha.
never know. We'll never know.
That
I'm
kind of
still bitter
happens in
about it.
every single match. It's just like, well, if I would have done this one thing differently, maybe we all would have survived.
Yeah.
Like I was driving a Jeep when we were playing, like I think all 3 of us
Yeah.
were playing. Or no, maybe that was when I was playing with Ricky.
No. We had a squad with 3 where
Where
we
we
were
were I was
rolling
up on
in a
that
Jeep.
hill, and Jim's like,
Yep.
"You shouldn't slow down here." And then all of a sudden, this dude just pops out of a bush and guns everybody down in the car. I'm like, "There's nobody up
I was
here on
thinking
this
of the
hill."
one today where somebody got Jim and Jim fell out of the car. We were in the Jeep. We turned around. We were thinking about going to get him, and then he got totally killed. And then you just like must have been like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And then you turned around and started speeding off, and then just slammed into a tower with the Jeep. And then like you're just like, oh well, I'm peacing out, and I'm still sitting in the Jeep. Like, what are you doing? And then I just got.
So
out
what you're
and
saying
went
is
in.
Brian plays what was the Plunk Bat?
Plunk bat.
Brian plays Plunk Bat the exact same way he plays Friday the 13th, where it's really, even though you're in a team, you're working together. It's Brian for himself.
It's not actually true.
But I don't. I mean,
I'm not the
I
one
think-
that's shot one of their own teammates dead. That belongs to my cousin. That award. That was
But
me that
I
got
don't-
shot.
See, I don't think it's not malice on Brian's part. It's just that he's thinking things, and they're not necessarily making it out of his mouth to the people that
Because
are
it's a
playing with
small
him.
mouth. I
It's
can't
such a
fit all
small
the
mouth.
words
You
fast
can't
enough.
force.
Hard,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bottlenecking.
He can't. Yeah, the bottleneck in the
Do you ever
Brian
hear like a
system is
high
his
pitched
mouth.
whine in the earpiece? That's it's when I'm trying to communicate something very important, very quickly.
There's so many words coming out, but they're so small, and it just.
You just sound like
So-
a tea kettle.
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
When
though.
Lizzie starts
Like,
barking.
Yeah, a couple legitimate questions.
Okay.
Okay, is the voice chat built in game?
There is voice chat in the game, and as far as I know, it works fine. But we've been using Skype.
Okay, I hate Skype. I don't.
You can do either way. Like
Yeah.
we could probably
Okay.
do. I
don't-
haven't used the in game at all.
Nah.
I think you can toggle.
I
like
just
push
can never.
to talk.
I can never remember my Skype password, so I constantly.
the only
have to
reason
keep
why you hate it,
resetting
right?
it. No, and I just don't like the format because I think the quality sucks. It's been terrible ever since I've ever used it, and I don't like it, and it's bad.
I don't know.
Sounds
Um,
better than talking on a normal phone.
Maybe it's better now. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've
Yeah, I
used
guess
it.
so.
So, and my other question is how big can teams be?
Up to 4, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's weird vehicles that have like 5 seats in them,
So maybe it's 5. I don't really know.
but like right now it's 4.
Okay, and you
Yeah.
haven't announced this yet, but you have an Xbox One S on the way.
Yes.
Okay, are you planning on getting this on Xbox?
I would consider picking it up if we get a good group of people.
Because I think this is the only format. That's the only format I would purchase it on. I don't
Like
plan on. I'm probably going to be getting rid of my PC. At
if
some
you
point.
two and Corey pick it up, we want to play 4-player, or if Pat wants
well,
to check
I mean,
it out.
yeah, and Jim's got Xbox too, so
Yeah, so I mean, I would totally consider picking it up if you guys pick it up when it comes out.
for sure.
So
Cool.
Yeah, I might consider that too, because I think at some point in this game, like all PC games, will have a cheater base in it, a group of people.
It
that will
probably
just
already
cheat.
does, and
Yeah.
I would assume
It certainly seems like it sometimes, but I just
Just-
like to think that I'm just not good enough.
Pat says he's going to play, so that's cool. Right
Awesome.
on. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of people that'll play.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
they're
cool.
adding a lot to the game. I held off on getting this for a couple weeks before I finally pulled the trigger, just because it's early access, and
Yeah.
I don't really like getting into the early access shit anymore.
Did they say that the Xbox version is
But-
going to be in early access, or is it going to be?
I don't think
an
they've
actual-
mentioned, but I think because the PC version is just kind of staying in early access for now, it'll probably be the Xbox early access.
Yeah.
Like I think it'll be under that umbrella so that they can continue to push.
It's
things
supposed to
and
come
develop.
out this fall, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come this year. Let me take a look at what our thing. Leap from PC to Xbox. Xbox family exclusive, although I've heard since that it's actually just a timed exclusive. Late 2017 is what
Yeah,
the
because
date
I'm going to
that they
need to
gave.
upgrade to a Pro for my PS4 soon, and buy a new TV, and get an Xbox One S.
1S or 1X?
I'm not going to get the X. I don't think. There's no reason for me to get it. I don't see a reason for me
Then
to
why
get
would you
it.
get the Pro?
Yeah.
To go with the 4K TV I'm going to get when I
Okay.
get one, and because I need to play Destiny in the best possible means necessary that I can actually afford.
All right.
So
Well, okay.
that's just me. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff I need to figure out, but
Yeah.
I don't like having the regular shit. I want to have nicer stuff.
Yeah, we can talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit more because I want to talk about my thought process with the Xbox stuff that happened.
Yeah,
But
we'll
we
get
can do
there.
that later.
You guys want to start running through the E3 stuff?
Yeah, we got a lot to get through, so we,
we
might
don't
as
want
well
to do
start
what
going.
we've been playing.
What else have you
besides
been playing?
that, or no?
I mean, Alex played some Destiny, which is fun.
I played some Destiny. That game sucks. I don't know why you guys play it.
You're a liar.
I've
It's
played
awesome.
Friday the 13th a lot. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Destiny's been cool. I bought a gun. It's pretty nice. It's called
Trespasser.
Sidewinder. Yeah, Trespass.
Sidewinder.
No,
I
that's
don't
the Microsoft controller from back in the day.
When it fires, it sounds like a rattlesnake.
No, I ended up buying Rise of Iron because it was $10 off this weekend.
Damn, I wish I
So,
would have waited.
It's I can't do any of the Rise of Iron crap yet, except to buy weapons from Xur apparently because that's exclusive to Rise of Iron now. So you know,
I played some more of that Everspace game I briefly talked about before. I think I did on the last
I don't
episode.
Yeah,
really
I
know
think
that
you
you did.
Brought it up,
What-
but I don't think you went into detail.
Okay.
Or
What-
maybe you brought up that you
It's
purchased
basically,
it.
I mean, it's a 3D space game where you have a ship,
Okay.
fly around, you can collect some resources and stuff, you can upgrade your ship. But it's not like totally open space. It's kind of like there's a zone progression to it, pretty much exactly like FTL.
Okay.
And I think it's randomized, but I'm not really sure. It might not be. But yeah, so you kind of make your way through one zone like a tree, and then there's like another map
Maybe
that
branching
comes up
path
before,
or
yeah.
whatever that you can kind of.
And then it is roguelike. I mean, you die, and that's the end
Start
of your
over.
run. However, you get to keep your money, and you can put that toward upgrades and skills and crap like that.
That's cool.
And you can buy other ships, too. There's different types of ships. It's really cool. Hopefully I will play more, but I keep just playing Battlegrounds constantly.
Punk Bat.
Yeah, I played build a new gaming PC too. That was a lot of fun.
Build a new
Now
gaming
I'm
PC 2017.
Not getting anything new for a long time, but it's awesome.
Yeah. We should say ARMS did come out this weekend, but there's so much E3 stuff to go through. I've spent a crap load of money. Brian spent a crap load of money.
I have no money.
John has no money.
I
so
spent a
it's-
crap load of money I don't actually have.
Yeah, so I kind of had my money. Kind of.
Yeah.
So send us money.
So yeah, if we might talk about ARMS later on. I want to pick it up at some point, but
For sure.
and the only other thing that I've really been playing has been Friday the 13th. It's still fantastic. I know Joel picked it up because of us, so I hope I don't have his name or anything. So
It's
if
the
you
same
can-
thing as the name that he
Okay.
uses on everything else. I'll send it to you guys.
All right, yeah, send it to me so I can add him and we can try and get some games going.
I played a bit of that too.
It's fantastic. It's just so good. Even with the jank and all the stuff going on, they fixed the matchmaking.
It's just funny. It's just a funny game to
is,
play.
yeah.
And it's
It's a good game to play with friends, basically.
yeah.
I mean, it's like a party game,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's rarely been any other game. Every once in a while, Gojo and Nick will hop on GTA and they'll be like, "Hey, let's play a game or whatever." But basically, almost every other day since the game has come out, Willie's been like, "Hey, I'm hopping on Friday the 13th," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it too." So to have a game like that, which I typically don't stay along with, it's been quite a lot of fun. I had one of the most ridiculous rounds that I've ever had as of late a couple nights ago, where I was the only one left, and I ended up circling. Jason and I ended up circling each other in melee stance, combat stance for a while, where you can press L2 to dodge out of the way, and you press R2 to chop with the machete at him. And
in the Michael Jackson's "Beat It" was playing in the background.
pretty much, yeah. Or I think he was saying the Star
Especially
Trek,
when you pulled out your pocket
like a Captain Kirk theme,
Yeah.
kind of thing going on. But it was great. As we were doing that, the 2-minute warning showed, and I was like, "Oh my god, I could actually do this!" And I ended up dying because it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I managed to knock him out, but I was so wounded that I couldn't get away very quickly.
Right.
So that game's just awesome. And if anybody out there wants to play it with us on PS4, let me know, because we're playing all the time.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I haven't played anything except Destiny, so
Okay.
no update. I'm leveling my hunter currently.
Yeah.
They finally reached level 40, which is cool. Took a while.
Nice.
That's about all I'm going to say.
Pick up a
about it.
Sidewinder from
I
Zero?
did get a Sidewinder from Zur. I've actually gotten a handful of pretty decent
Trespasser?
weapons lately. So yeah, the Trespasser, not
That's
the
good.
Sidewinder. I know.
It's going to be the Sidewinder from now on.
I'm really
Okay.
digging the NL Shadow. I'm loving that gun.
It's cool.
It's a lot of fun to play.
It's been around for a long time.
I don't think I like it more than my Hung Jury, though. That will forever be my favorite scout rifle. So, but yeah, that's just me.
Well, not forever, probably.
Yeah,
When
until
Destiny 2 comes out, maybe there will be something better.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like a Gallarhorn.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Okay, podcast is over. No.
Anyways, cool. Let's go into the E3. We're gonna start with Nintendo because that's the order that this NeoGAF timeline is.
Yeah,
in,
so we're using the E3 2017 summary thread on NeoGAF.
Because we can't make up our own.
Thank you to the people. Why
Well,
would we make
this
our own?
is just an
when this
outline
is-
because we're not gonna use their discussion.
we can stop at the
Let's just
at
do
the
that.
points that we want.
Just read it off.
Yeah, all right. So Pokken Tournament Deluxe was announced.
Pokken.
Is it
It's
Pokken?
Like Tekken with Pokemon. Pokken.
Yeah, okay. Pokken Tournament Deluxe was announced for the Switch. It's a Pokemon fighter game.
Yep.
Kind of cool, I guess. The little trailer / commercial thing they showed everybody was kind of cool. It showed some dude going home, it seemed like, or going to visit his brother, maybe.
I didn't watch it.
And everywhere he went, he was running into people to play with, and they all had Switches
Yeah,
apparently,
that's
which is
pretty
not realistic because
And they pulled
nobody
them out
has
of their
Switches.
pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, they didn't.
So, well, literally, he stayed at a hostel, and everyone at the hostel had a Switch, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
this is not realistic at all. Nobody in the world has Switches right now.
If you left
There
that in
aren't
the
enough.
hostel, somebody would steal it.
So, anyways, it looks kind of cool. I'm not that interested in it though because I don't really like fighting games.
Yeah.
So
I don't really care about it.
I'm not
either.
interested in it at all because I don't really have an interest in Pokemon or fighting games.
There you go.
cool.
Launches September 22nd.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm
then
excited for people that do.
They for some reason announced another version of Pokemon Ultra. It's Pokemon Sun and Moon, but Ultra versions, which that game just came out last year, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I don't really understand why they did that.
I don't either.
Sun and Moon Ultra Deluxe.
Yeah. Redo. something like that. But
I feel like
comes
that
out.
would like abbreviate to sucks dicks somehow,
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
That comes out on my birthday. I'm not gonna buy
Happy
it.
birthday, John.
Thanks. I don't even have a 3DS, so it doesn't make
Happy
sense.
birthday. No.
November 17th is when that is. If anybody wants to celebrate my birthday with me, that'd be cool, you know. They also announced Pokemon Gold and Silver have been announced for the 3DS Virtual Console. I'd like to see them start shifting a lot of these Virtual Console things over to the Switch.
Yeah, wouldn't
but
that
they
be
still
nice?
didn't even announce that. That's kind of a bummer. What else do we have on this list here that I care
There
about?
were a couple other things that came out beforehand. Skyrim is officially announced now. You're going to be able to use your Link amiibo to get the Master Sword and Link Breath of the Wild
the
clothes.
champion armor.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem
So,
to fit.
There's also some motion controls, like
The motion
using
controls
the-
looked kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, you can actually like draw the bowstring back
Ooh.
and do stuff like that.
Swing
so
the
that's
sword
pretty sweet.
and
Cool.
cast spells.
It's
or
almost
whatever.
like they're bringing that over from the Skyrim VR, but we can talk about that.
We'll get there.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Okay, everyone hated on this game
Really?
big time.
Yeah, 'cause
before-
Rabbids.
Before it wasn't like they actually showed what the game was. They announced a long time ago that they were doing.
They didn't
this.
announce, but it leaked.
Yeah, it leaked that they were doing this game, and I just saw something. I think it was on a different NeoGAF thread that
Sorry, Pat. All of my icons on my PC are giving him OCD.
Yeah. Anyway, so this leaked a while ago. Everyone hated on it pretty hardcore, and I saw in another thread, it was Miyamoto actually like told the creative director of this game to stand up and take a bow, or something like that. I don't remember this actually happening when I was watching the stream, but the dude was visibly in tears because he was so happy that people actually were digging this game. I think. Because he got so much flack for it originally.
Because the whole Rabbids thing has been kind of played out. It really died on the Wii, like pretty hard.
Yeah,
they did so many games.
It was pretty
and
dumb.
It wasn't that. I mean, the first Rayman Raving Rabbids that came out at the launch of the Wii was fun. It was a mini game collection, like a Mario Party kind of thing, and it worked well enough, and it was fine.
But basically, this game is Mario and the Rabbids in XCOM.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a strategy RPG of some sort. And
Yeah, I can get behind that.
it looks awesome, and I'm really interested. I like the ability to play off of other characters, so you can have like Mario and the Peach Rabbid like can bounce off of each other to do different attacks or to like flank enemies differently. It looked really cool, and I'm really interested in having this on my Switch because this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
if they're not going to give me Final Fantasy Tactics of some sort, this is the closest I'm going to get, and I'm okay with that.
It's kind of the perfect game for like, I'm going to pull this out and play a couple rounds, a couple turns in this XCOM style thing, and then put it away and come back to it later.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yep, for sure. Next up on the list is Super Mario
That's coming
Odyssey.
August 29th,
yeah,
by the way.
I should go with these announcements. And next on the list is Super Mario Odyssey, and that comes out October 27th.
That's okay. I wanted to, before we did this episode, I kind of wanted to be like, hey, pick a few things that were your favorite things that you saw at E3.
Yeah, I was thinking about that
But
too.
I forgot because I was too busy playing Battlegrounds. But anyways, I'm sorry. What do you call it? Plunk bat?
Yeah.
That is on my list though. That I just came up with.
It looks fantastic.
Absolutely. That looks so much cooler than I even expected it to look.
The ability to use the hat to possess other enemies and things
Like a dinosaur
is so cool. And I think a second player can play as that
Yes.
too, right?
The second player can control the hat, so you can essentially like co-op the game together.
I also read that there are like 2D gameplay parts of the game that are hidden away in various corners of the
That's cool.
That's
game.
pretty sweet.
So that should be interesting as well.
Yeah, it seems like a very weird Mario game, and I'm okay with that. I kind of want Nintendo to get weirder and different with their game. Like that's kind of what they did with Breath of the Wild. So to let them kind of figure out ways to make it seem fresh and new and different.
I mean, they've always kind of been the company that just does their own thing and does it really well. And
Yeah,
it's-
but they've
it's
been
funny,
doing.
It's funny saying that because I realize that Breath of the Wild took mechanics from so many other games.
But they've been doing
But-
their own thing the same way for almost 20, like for over 20 years, and it's
like
kind
30
of like
years, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So to see them let Mario and Luigi have guns in the Rabbids game is
Right.
interesting. Like, that's pretty weird and strange and not something I would ever have expected out of them. To see Mario possessing weird humanoids on New Donk City streets is so like what the fuck did I just say is kind of the main like
Right.
what else is this game going to be? So to kind of see that coming to fruition, letting them do things in their own
I mean,
weird
it's
and
it's
different
kind of
way is
like
awesome.
what was the one where he had to clean everything?
That's Sunshine.
Yeah,
Super Mario Sunshine
was like a
GameCube.
totally different game. Like,
Yeah.
but it was still Mario, and like the fact that they're able to like just keep going and coming up with something original with the same character and like just let it, like again doing their own thing. That's cool, and I respect them for that, and I admire the fact that they're able to do that and get away with it and still make money. And yeah, they've been in the game now for how many years? I mean,
Yeah.
Nintendo started as a playing card company in like the 1800s. Like,
Yeah.
they're still kicking ass.
Yeah.
Like, good for them.
Symbolically, to see them start the Switch off with a Mario that is 3D and new like this, as opposed to New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, which was a launch title for the Wii U, I think it shows that they kind of want to go in new, different, bold
Yeah.
directions.
They're gonna switch it up.
All right,
Oh, I did that.
October 27th.
Yeah. Anyways,
We
Xenoblade.
just- somebody stopped watching right after that.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
fine.
coincidence.
We just lost all of our watchers.
They're getting that now,
Yeah, I know.
or somehow they're in the future. Whatever.
They said it was so bad that it reverberated backwards through
Through time.
time.
Or
Yeah,
maybe they were
great.
just like, I really need to see a bad pun right now, and it didn't happen soon enough, and then they left.
Yeah. Anyways,
Could have saved them.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out holiday season. No
Yeah, I
exact
did. I
date.
wasn't expecting that this year. I was expecting that in like 2020.
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause that's
I haven't
usually
played
how
any of
long
the other
those
games,
take.
so I don't really know what to expect. But it looks cool, and it looks like it's probably pretty
I'm
fun.
a little confused by that. Like, I thought there was a Xenoblade game on Wii U.
There was.
That had like awesome looking mechs and shit like that. Or is that a different game?
That's Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay,
which I
that
don't-
one looked awesome, and I really wanted to play it. And so I was like, "Oh, Xenoblade!" And then I watched the trailer. And I'm like, "This is nothing what I wanted." So
I don't
I'm
know
not
if
getting
that's
this
like
game.
a prequel or not, but yeah, it's
There are
kind of
no
different.
mechs.
This is a direct sequel, not a direct sequel. It is a sequel to the Wii game Xenoblade Chronicles.
Right.
It also came out on the new 3DS as well. So it's kind of a more standard RPG-ish type game.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and you know, it should be pretty good if that's what you're looking for. Clearly, Brian is not looking for that.
not looking for that.
Yeah.
Which the mech game was the same way. There were just mechs in it.
Yeah, well, that would help.
Okay.
Anyways, moving along. Metroid Prime 4 was teased with
Yes.
literally no information.
But just
just a
knowing that
trailer.
it's out there is nice.
But that just means there's the possibility it never comes out.
No, it's gonna happen. The thing, it's not
It
it's
might
not
not
being
come out
made.
for 10 years.
It's not being made by Retro. It's not being made by the people who did 1, 2, and 3. So
Boo.
that's a bit of a bummer, but I have faith.
Hopefully,
in Nintendo.
I mean, why announce? I don't see the point in announcing something that you have nothing to show for. It's similar to how they announced a Pokemon core RPG, and they were like, "Hey guys, we got a Pokemon game coming."
But that's the
And
thing
like
is that
that's
that
it.
was
Like that's all they said. Like that's to me is like why even bother? Like I understand building hype, I get that, but it's just I mean, come on, like give me something other than a title
It's
card.
not necessarily the building hype. It is the hey, you just spent $300 on this thing, and I know there's not a lot of games out now, but we're working on it. Like you are getting
maybe
the best
they
of the
haven't
best
even
from us.
started working on it.
That's
They
entirely
just
like that
decided,
happens.
like, hey,
Like that Final Fantasy VII remake, they announced that, and they're like gonna start working on it like next week. Like that's
Yeah.
essentially true. So it's like I appreciate it from the standpoint of look, your investment isn't in vain. Like I'm happy to be like, oh god, there's a new Metroid Prime coming. Like I am so excited for more Metroid Prime. So the fact that they don't have much to show off of it, whatever. They're gonna do a Prime in like, or not Prime, a Direct in like a few months and they'll be like, hey, here's a little more about Metroid.
Yeah,
or
I mean that
something
was
like
that was kind of my next thing that I was going to say is maybe it's just a way to push people to view more of the Nintendo Directs. Like they're not getting enough of an audience with those, and so they announce the title and they're like more information on the way, and then the next time a Nintendo Direct pops up, more people will be paying attention to the Direct.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know
I don't
if
know.
that's true, but it just to me it's we put out this system, it's expensive, and we're currently light on games. Please understand there's more coming. And
Right.
we didn't know that there was going to be a mainline Pokemon on this thing. But there is, which is big news. Like the fact that the 3DS might not see this game, that's kind of really important.
Yeah, and they did. I think they just confirmed it the other day that it will in fact be like a standard Pokemon
Yeah.
4 game where you actually go around collecting the Pokemon and fighting them.
Yeah,
and
it's
battling.
not Pokemon Coliseum or whatever the hell came out
Right.
for.
But what intrigues me is the ability to play this with other Switch players on the go.
Yeah,
Like that's
for
what I want.
20 minutes.
do an ad hoc battle on in the Starbucks or something
Yeah,
like that.
or playing Metroid Prime 4 multiplayer with people because
Or
hacker mode is
sitting on
stupid.
a rooftop.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for Metroid Prime. I'm excited for Pokemon. Like, I would pick up a new Pokemon.
I am most excited for Mario.
All right, keep going. Metroid: Samus Returns announced for
That
the
looks cool,
3DS.
too. That's a remake of the Game Boy one,
It's
right?
a remake of Metroid 2, yeah.
That is the one I've actually played the most of.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I hadn't played it until that remake, that fan
It was
remake
pretty
that
cool.
came out, which is really, really good. I am skeptical because Mercury Steam, the people developing it, made a weird Castlevania 2.5D for the 3DS. That wasn't
I remember
super
that.
good.
Was that Chronicles or something
It wasn't
like that?
Chronicles. It's like it spun off of the Kojima directed Castlevania that came out. I can't remember. Lords of Shadow. It's a Lords of Shadow
Okay.
Castlevania game, but it's on the 3DS and it's 2D. I'm skeptical about it. It looks kind of weird that they're adding mechanics like doing like little melee attacks with Samus, or I don't know. It looks strange.
Does she have a whip?
No, not exactly. But I'm down. I'm down for
Where
more.
you can stand in place and just wave it like this
No.
and hit in every direction.
Yeah, they just reskinned the Castlevania
Yeah, it just
game.
flies
Right.
behind
As
you.
Samus.
So I'm excited for it. It's coming September 15th, but yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't really stick his arm out though. It really looks like he's just holding it like this.
Yeah, he's
and,
just
like,
holding it there and just kind of flailing it around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing reps.
Yeah, basically he's just
Yeah.
like lifting, but he's swinging his whip everywhere.
right.
Any
Things you only understand if you're watching us on Twitch.
What
Yep.
else?
we all know about the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC that's coming out.
We got a date for the first pack.
The DLC first pack with the Master Trials will be released on June 30th, and they didn't announce the second pack, but I think it was the fall at some point.
Yeah, it said sometime in the fall.
Yeah.
And there's not much info about it. Some people think it might lead to playable champions, potentially.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But I don't know.
I don't want to play as the champions. I just want to play with the champions,
Yeah.
like we did, kind of. Spoiler alert.
I don't know
Rocket
what you're
League.
talking about, so that's okay.
Rocket League was announced for the Switch. This is awesome because this is the perfect game to have on a Nintendo Switch.
It's pretty, yeah. it's
Especially
pretty
if you
perfect
can
for
get
that.
8 people sitting around a table with Nintendo Switches playing and drinking and having a good time. I do believe they were talking about having some form of crossplay with Rocket League at some point, but not right off the bat. Am I right or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it confirmed.
It'll probably be
necessarily,
crossplay
but
with everything but PlayStation.
Given that Minecraft is going to be kind of universal like that, I assume Rocket League will probably.
Yeah, I
be
just know
too.
the Psyonix guys are really into having cross-platform.
I wonder. Do you know if there was any like single screen? There's couch co-op in Rocket League, right?
I don't know if there's couch co-op.
Like it.
Like I think multiple people can. Bloomin' onion. You missed one earlier, Joel. I apologize.
Yeah,
You'll have to listen.
We had
for
one
that
earlier.
But I think there's couch co-op because I think multiple people can play off of the same console. So I hope that's
yeah.
something that carries
You
up.
can.
Like if you can break the Joy-Con off and have 2 people playing
Yeah.
Rocket
be
League,
awesome.
I
that's
think there's
pretty
enough
sweet.
buttons for that.
I think so too. Yeah. So that's sweet.
It would be awesome for sure. Kirby has been announced for the Switch and will arrive in 2018.
Yes.
Includes the
Looks
ability of
interesting.
mixing and recruiting helpers, join forces with 3 friends, or for team action. Yeah.
Yes. 4-player co-op Kirby. Yes.
If it's anything like the Mario game that came out on the Wii, I am not interested in the least.
It might be kind of like that.
That was the
I don't
most.
know.
That was the most infuriating shit I've ever played in my
Where you
entire
try
life.
to jump somewhere and then you run into
Yeah, you
your
jump
bump
off
into
of it.
somebody
teammate
else,
and
or
it
like
bounces you off into a chasm somewhere.
yeah, that made me hate Mario for a minute.
Yeah, that's kind of
So-
irritating.
That's what Kirby is. Not looking forward to it. I'm so down. If it is what Kirby is, but I can just still leave it by myself. Yeah, you probably can. Yoshi was also announced for the Switch.
That looks
Arriving 2018. It looks like Paper Mario, but with Yoshi.
Yeah, it's kind of like it looks like a little diorama.
2.5D-ish.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just like he can flip and go in houses and blah blah blah. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got a very beautiful art style. That's what's happening with the audio, Pat. Tell us.
It's buzzing
Over a cord.
How's this, Pat? Is this better? I might have bumped something. Still buzz?
Great.
I'll cut this out of the actual podcast.
It's good
episode,
now.
I
It's
suppose.
good now. Okay, good.
All right, cool.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, technical difficulties. I probably won't actually cut it out. I'm just gonna leave it in. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say about all these Switch games is the art style of all of them is awesome.
Yeah.
Like whoever they've got in charge of all of their art going forward, keep doing it because you're kicking ass.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is that because the Switch isn't the most powerful thing on the market, they got to make
Gotta
some
be
very
creative.
That's always
creative-
the case with the Nintendo systems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think between Paper Mario's and like the Yoshi's Woolly World was gorgeous on the Wii U. There's a clay Kirby that came out on the Wii U that also looks fantastic. So
Yeah,
they've always been good with that.
right on. Fire Emblem Warriors coming out fall of 2017. Help confront the evil dragon that killed your mom with help from heroes across the world.
Yeah,
Let's just change that
I-
to slept with your mom.
I love Fire Emblem. I'm not interested in this though.
yeah. I don't care. I just don't care about Dynasty Warriors games, and
I'm just over it.
like the Hyrule Warriors did not do it for me,
Yeah.
and so this isn't going to work either.
Moving along, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions is a remake using the 3DS Mario and Luigi engine for animations and remade pixel art. Journey to restore Princess Peach's voice. Oh, and grow an army of minions. October 6th on the 3DS. I want to play this on Switch. I don't have a 3DS. I don't want to spend
That was
more
the other
money.
thing I was going to say about Metroid Samus Returns. Why is it not on the Switch? Just give it to me on the Switch because I just want to play things on. I don't want to touch my 3DS
release
anymore.
Release it on both because you've got an audience on both. Like, just
yeah,
give me a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just bothers
I don't
me.
know. Yeah. I feel like I've heard about all the Nintendo stuff I care about personally.
well, we can just that's pretty much it. There's a bunch of amiibo.
Yeah, and then Pikmin 4 was confirmed to be still in development.
Yep.
Splatoon 2 is confirmed to be 60 frames per second and 1080p.
But we already
Um,
played it and it seemed to be, so
Yeah,
I mean
so that's about it.
Test.
That's it for Nintendo.
Okay, Brian.
Let's talk about Microsoft. I think
Yeah.
Microsoft stole the show this year, personally.
I think they did a pretty good job.
They did a good job. I will say I appreciated the brevity of Sony's presentation and the lack of talking.
Yes.
It was very nice.
Yes.
Fair enough.
However, I think Xbox brought a little more to the table as far as just cool
Yeah.
stuff to show off, and the Xbox X was interesting to see, especially since it's actually smaller. That's kind of cool.
Yep. So, yeah, let's talk about that. The Scorpio has been named the Xbox One X. Not to be confused with the Xbox One S.
Yes.
Easily confusing.
If you
There's
have
also
a speech
a-
impediment, it might be a problem.
There's also a $300 price difference between the two. So
Yeah, all the moms calling this holiday it's gonna be
you're gonna have a lot of really angry kids.
yeah. I wanted the X.
Why is it white? I want the black one.
Speaking of the One S, though, going back a little bit here, there is a $50 price drop right now, so it is $200.
Actually, no.
No.
No, that actually was not. That didn't end up being true.
What?
The only one that's priced at $249 normally is the Minecraft bundle,
Okay.
and that one was excluded from the deal. So all of the $300 like 500 gigabyte bundles that came with like Battlefield and FIFA and those got dropped to $249.
$240. Okay.
But
Yeah.
the $249 Minecraft bundle is still just $249.
That's
like it's
stupid.
Not,
I
well,
thought they
that's
were
still
$200.
pretty damn cheap for that console.
yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Plus, you're getting a game. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, and speaking of prices, the One X is $499. This is pretty much on par with what everybody was
I
speculating.
don't remember what size drive they said.
got a
that's
1
gonna-
terabyte.
1 terabyte?
Yep.
It's not going to be enough.
No, that
Never
fills up
is.
quick.
It never is.
What else? Did they announce anything else that we didn't know about the X? I don't think so. It comes out November 7th. That's exciting. So a lot sooner. No, probably on par. They want it available for the holiday season, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
it is smaller. It will have backwards compatibility in 4K, true 4K gaming.
It will have backwards compatibility with old school Xbox,
Yep.
the original Xbox.
Original Xbox,
That's
Xbox
a new
360.
thing that was announced.
And all of your Xbox One accessories and everything will work with it flawlessly.
Yep.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, you can use your
Elite controller and
all that fancy stuff.
Rock Band adapters, and
I don't know if that's a thing.
that it is a thing.
Yeah, man. You can
Okay.
use them to play Dark Souls with if you want.
Dark Souls.
Play Dark Souls with a guitar.
There's a whole community of people like beating Dark Souls with different controller types.
Do you think
So,
they're using the on PlayStation?
There was a guy-
Are they playing with the aim controller?
there was a guy
That's
using
what I want to see somebody beat Dark Souls with the aim controller.
there was a guy using bananas that had like triggers on like
What?
embedded in them, so when he smacked the bananas they would do different
They gotta get
motions.
really gross after a while.
Yeah, it exists.
That's how you get Donkey Kong to. So Pat says frame capping, womp, with a mad face. So let's talk about this.
All right.
Assassin's Creed Origins, the new Assassin's Creed that takes place in Egypt, is going to be 4K but capped at 30 frames per second. This is also true of the PlayStation 4 Pro. Destiny 2, still not confirmed for 4K by somebody on Twitter on the Xbox One X, but they're saying they're investigating it, but it will be 30 frames regardless.
I don't have an issue with this. I understand why they do the capping. They can't. I mean, if they uncap it, it's gonna be 60 frames per second a lot of the times, but not always. And nobody likes those sudden
See,
frame
but they're
dips.
saying that this is going to be 30 frames per second a lot of the times, but not always. They're not promising solid 30 frames either.
Eh.
Like that's
That's a problem.
That's the main thing. It's capped. It's not locked. Like it's
Okay.
Like
I see what you're
so.
saying.
But the Pro and the X, there's $100 difference between these things. The Pro is by all paper logistics way more powerful than like. It's 50% more powerful than the PlayStation Pro in terms of teraflops. But the Destiny guys basically came out and said, we have all of these things that are processor intensive, like our AI and the
AI.
like. Let me.
the number of players being used, the enemies being spawned, the world itself, like everything
Gotcha.
is processor
So
intensive.
play it
all-
on my new PC.
Yeah. So, and because of that, basically, the extra power of the Xbox One S or One X is not going to be shown in a lot of these games because a lot of them are very processor intensive, and there's only a slight boost to the CPU. It's the same CPU. It's got 8 cores, but it's just a little bit. It's a higher clock speed.
I kind of thought the CPU in both systems, the Sony and Microsoft, are pretty similar architecture wise. They're both AMD 8-core or whatever.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
why is this stuff going to run so much better? Or are they saying it's going to run better on PlayStation?
No,
then?
everybody's just kind of butthurt over the fact that they're capping the frames.
Oh, okay.
No, kind of the thing is that, like, it's not that things are going to run better on the PlayStation. It's that things can't theoretically run that much better on the Xbox.
Unless they're GPU.
Unless they're more reliant on the GPU, which I'm sure that means that a lot of the Microsoft first party games are going to look nuts because they're going to be able to know that and adjust for it.
Yeah.
And so those guys know that hardware well enough to kind of shuffle that around. But when it comes to like multi-platform things,
the Forza games look awesome. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they always have.
so
Ever since the second one.
to me, and this is what led to me buying an Xbox One S. I was like, I think I'm going to see similar performance in multi-platform games on the PS4 as compared to the Xbox One X for the most part. If Destiny and Assassin's Creed are coming through and saying things are going to be pretty close, like they did come out and say things might be a little more solid on the One X, but nobody was ready to be like the One X is going to be solid. Like it will carry it the whole way through.
I think a lot of it stems from the fact that they need to create content that not only plays on a regular Xbone, but also a regular PS4, and then also be able to play on a Pro and an X.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make sure that they're able to create content that is similar across all platforms in a way so that like they're not really favoring one over the other.
See, and the
so
thing,
to speak.
like one of the things that some people were saying is the issue, which I don't think came out of Bungie directly, was somebody basically being like, we need to, as Pat is saying in the chat right now, we need to keep everybody at 30 frames in the Crucible, because if somebody's at 60 and another's at 30, the 60 FIPS is going to have a leg up on the 30.
Yeah. That's
Which is
why
totally
PC
true.
gamers always want to have the best PC.
It's totally true. That's why Gears of War 4 on PC, if you play with people that are on Xbox, your frames per second are locked to 30.
And you
They've
can only
solved
play
that problem
Horde
before.
most of the time. Occasionally they open it up to play competitive play cross-platform, but most of the time they don't.
Okay, yeah, well that's a keyboard and mouse issue right there. That's what that is. But they lock the PC to 30 frames per second if you are playing Horde with Xbox
Okay,
One,
that makes
One
sense.
S, and One people. So that's not the problem. This is a hardware issue. This is the game being coded to need more processor power, and there's not that much more there than what's already,
Being used.
Yeah.
what's already in the Xbox One and One S. So
Right.
to me, that was disappointing. I bought a new TV, and I want to be able to watch UHD Blu-ray. I don't want to wait for the One X. So I was basically just like, I'm going to buy a One S right now. Going to try to sell my GTX 1080 and get a 1080 Ti so that I can use my PC to play all of these Microsoft games at even better performance than what the One X is probably going to get out of them. Or maybe not. We don't know that for sure yet. But that's kind of where it came down for me.
I know
So-
that the TI card has just as much RAM as the entire One X will have to share with everything.
Yeah. So graphically, if the graphics card has its own RAM that's greater than everything that's in that console,
Yeah.
things are likely to look better. But
Right. Anyways, we haven't even touched the Microsoft stuff.
yeah, so we can just bullet point it. Like we can, if you
Yeah,
want to
fourth-
stop somewhere, we can
There's
stop.
only a few things I really want to actually talk about for maybe a minute.
All right, let's
but-
just run down the list and stop me when we get there. Okay, Forza Motorsport 7 comes out on October 3rd. Looks great.
Yeah.
Brian's excited. Metro Exodus looks fucking awesome.
That was a surprise to me. Didn't expect that at all.
That's coming out in 2018. No exact date yet, but it looks incredible. Assassin's Creed Origins, already talked about that. Comes out October 27th across all platforms.
That looks like the first time I'll get an Assassin's Creed game.
I've heard it feels very Tom Clancy.
Interesting. I like the Tom Clancy games.
Yeah.
So Splinter Cell, what was that last one?
Conviction, Blacklist.
Ghost
Blacklist,
Recon.
I think, was the one that I played. The last one that I played. I liked that a lot, actually. That was a fun game. Player Unknown Battlegrounds. It's on its way. I will probably pick it up on a console because I don't want to play it on a PC. Deep Rock Galactic. Don't really care about that. It's dwarves fighting for gold.
It looks kind of cool, but
Whatever. Is what it is. State of Decay 2 looks awesome. I'm
Yes.
very excited for this because now it's co-op, right? They
Yeah.
actually say it's co-op.
It has
So,
to be.
Yeah, I want to play that with friends. That was the thing that was missing from the first State of Decay. The Darwin Project, don't really know what that is really or care. I don't remember what.
Oh, that was that weird. Wasn't that the weird competitive play one where they were doing the cheesy voiceovers for esports?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
It
all
was-
I
it
remember
was
about
ba-
it.
it looked
And that was a
made-
huge turnoff.
It looked like the Hunger Games or whatever. Whatever.
But like a-
Minecraft is getting unified servers across all Xbox, Switch, mobile, and PC systems. Sony doesn't want anything to do with this because they
Their
suck.
loss.
They're doing a super duper graphics pack for the
Yeah, that
Xbox
looks
One
really
X,
good
which
too.
is
A lot
awesome.
of neat.
Dynamic
This
lighting
is
and
another
stuff like
lighting
the
that.
crossplay
things.
thing is something I want to get into. We can get into it later.
I
I,
c- it,
I
like,
want to talk
yeah.
about it though because I think it's very
I
important.
agree. We do need to talk about it.
Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighters Z will be on the enhanced Xbox One X. Launches early 2018. Black Desert is an Xbox One console launch exclusive MMORPG. It looks like a mix of RPG and Dragon's Dogma. Releases early 2018. That looks pretty cool. I kind of dug that game a bit.
I was looking at that on Steam today, and it seems like it is really cool, except that it has a lot of paywalls.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what they do for the Xbox version.
Right. The Last Night is a cool, stylized, futuresque sci-fi game, a unique take on the HD pixel art set in a post-cyberpunk world. Xbox One console launch exclusive and Xbox One X enhanced. This looked pretty cool. It looked
Yes.
kind of Blade Runner-y, but
Yeah.
like, what was the Out of This World or what were those other games from like the 90s?
I'm gonna give that a spot on my
I don't
most
remember,
anticipated
but that looked
list.
really cool. The Artful Escape is another stylized 2D game with guitar and acid trip segments are abound that will release when it's damn ready. Xbox One console launch exclusive and Xbox One X enhanced.
Looked wild.
Don't even remember that, so don't care. Obviously, Code Vein. The guys on NeoGaf are calling this anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I'm pumped
Yeah,
for
looks
this.
super
it looks
cool.
great.
2018 still.
2018. Sea of Thieves. They finally showed some more.
I'm-
They showed
yeah.
more Sea of Thieves. It looks way more pretty now. The water effects were unbelievable. This looks cool. This game looks fun. Fucking release it already.
We got to see a lot more of the actual game, and it looks like it would be a lot
It
of
looks
fun.
like there's going to be a lot to do.
This
Yeah.
looks like something that when we need to lighten the load, lighten up a little bit after playing Friday the 13th, we
Yes.
can move over to playing this.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, running through tunnels, trying to
Running through
escape.
caves with
I thought that was one of the
skeletons.
coolest things. Is like you
It's a little
can't shoot
freaky.
shit. You got to carry that treasure
Yeah.
chest, and your friends better hold their own and blow shit up and take care of business because
Yeah.
you got to get the treasure
Yeah,
out
and
of
give
there.
you an idea where the hell you're going.
That was really cool. I'm into that.
Yeah,
I
no,
want
it
that.
all looks cool. I'm very excited for that one. Not
it had-
excited that it's coming out next year.
It has ship fights. It has some really sweet weather effects. Again, the water effects were some of the coolest looking water effects I've seen in the game. So I'm pretty pumped for that. They're saying early 2018 now. We'll see about that, I guess. Tacoma, Fulbright announced as an Xbox One console launch exclusive,
Cool.
and it's going to be Xbox One X enhanced, available August 2nd. I don't remember what Tacoma was.
Tacoma, they showed a very brief clip of it. There's a much longer trailer online. It's
Okay.
been in the works for a long time, and it looks really cool. I don't really know. You're on a space station, and there's AIs, and I assume things go wrong.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I'm excited.
One
to,
of those I'm trapped and scared in space
Yeah.
games, but it looks
I'm-
cool.
I'm down.
Right on. Super Lucky's Tales coming out on November 7th in line with the One X. So that'll probably be something that'll
Yeah.
show it off a
Former
little bit, maybe.
Oculus launch game now remastered for Xbox One.
Yeah. Cuphead is coming out September 29th, finally. That's been, what,
Cool.
2 years since it was announced, roughly? Or was that last
I think
year?
longer than that.
Longer?
I think it's been in development for a long time.
Longer than Crackdown 3? Oh.
I don't know.
Speaking of Crackdown 3,
That's coming out November 7th as well, in line with the One X. So that'll be something to show it off a little
Is
bit.
Terry Crews actually in the game though?
I think he plays one of the voices.
Okay,
Probably the voice of the main character, I would assume.
that's good.
A video montage for a bunch of the ID at Xbox games showed off a whole bunch of games here. I don't know if we want to run down the list of that. I don't know.
No.
None of them really stood out to me.
I mean, yeah, there's a Fable card game, Path
Yeah.
of Exile, also coming.
Cool.
But, yeah,
okay.
Ashen from Aurora 44 is the Xbox One console launch exclusive. From the stylized graphics to the desolate nature of the story, it looks great, I guess. I don't really know. I don't remember Ashen at all. Life is Strange. This is a
a
prequel,
prequel,
right?
yeah.
Okay, Before the Storm. It had its world premiere at the Microsoft conference. Available August 31st. If you haven't played Life is Strange, is it still free on PSN right now or no?
Yeah, that's this month.
yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
in
this
June.
month on PSN right now, you can get it for free if you have gold.
Yeah. Before the Storm's going to be a 3-part
Plus.
episodic game, and the first episode is coming out
Yeah.
August 31st. So
Middle Earth Shadow of War. They showed off some of the updated gameplay for that. This game, again, I didn't care for the first one. When I saw Shadow of Mordor like come out, just was like, nah, I don't care. This looked kind of cool, actually. And the voice acting was awesome.
Yes, the voice acting was really funny.
Yeah.
Really,
Good.
really entertaining. This is coming out on October 10th, so pay attention for that. If any of this stuff coming out, guys, that we talk about, if you listen to this and you want to hear us talk about it, tell us so we know what to get so that you don't have
Yeah.
to waste your money.
Yeah, there's a lot of games coming.
Let us waste money for you. Ori and the Will of the Wisp is coming out.
That looks awesome, but I still haven't played the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. I know it was $10 on Steam this past week, but I didn't pick it up.
And Xbox backwards compatibility is expanded to the original Xbox console library of games. They confirmed that Crimson Skies is coming out. That seemed to be like pretty exciting for everybody who was in the audience at the conference there. Let's see what else here. I don't know what's going on over here, but
Brian, you're fine.
did you get a booger on your microphone?
No, it was a bug.
Oh, a bug? Okay. You were making a sweet face, though. Okay. Gears of War, Forza Horizon 3, Killer Instinct, Halo Wars 2, and Minecraft are getting 4K Xbox One X updates, and as well as 30 additional titles from third parties, including Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 7, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and Rocket League. Cool.
Yep.
If you get a One X,
Mhm.
that's awesome for you, because then all those games that you already own will look even better.
Yep.
Anthem was officially introduced. This game is coming from BioWare. It looks awesome. This looks like third-person Destiny, and I like
You mean
the
like
fact,
the Division?
yeah, but better. Because this is like
Because you can fly.
this is in some post-apocalyptic jungle world or whatever, where there's all kinds of crazy creatures and shit that you can hunt down and fight. And you get these exosuits that you can swap in and out of, like depending on how you feel like playing. Like you have one main character and you have different suits you can wear. I don't know if like you purchase the suits as you go through the game, like you start with one but you can get others, or how it works. But
Yeah.
it looks awesome. I'm really excited. I'm
yeah.
planning on getting it, and if anybody wants to play with me, I'm gonna hold open auditions to join my fire team.
Yeah, I'll probably get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
We'll see.
still a little worried about whether it'll actually be any fun.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome.
And the interesting thing that they showed, one of the, I heard somebody talking about this, I think it was on the Waypoint podcast, but the idea that in Destiny, when you're in social spaces getting missions and things, you're in third person, and then when you go out into the world, you are in first person.
Oh, this
It's
is like the
flipped
opposite.
in
Yeah.
Anthem, where it kind of seems like they want you to world build as you, like you being in, like it's.
Well,
you're
there's
not-
actual
you're not-
dialogue too.
Yeah, there's people are actually talking
a
to you
dialogue
in the
tree and
world.
everything,
You're
I
not
believe.
just like reading voiceover and the thing. So, kind of seeing that tonal difference between this game and what Destiny is, like I think it shows a very interesting focus on storytelling that Destiny doesn't
I-
necessarily show in that same way.
Could be wrong about this, but I do think there is some sort of dialogue tree type stuff in Destiny too.
That's cool.
But I could be wrong about that. I thought I read about that.
But even just from the game design standpoint of like, we want you to be first person when you're interacting with these people that want to give you missions. Like even that guy that gives her the first mission and is like, hey, we lost some dudes. I don't even remember what he said, but just like you had this really worried
Somebody
and
went
frenzied
missing.
guy trying to help or get a mercenary or whatever they called the person to go and help him achieve something. Like
Freelancer, I
a
think.
freelancer.
I think that
yes,
was it, yeah.
Yes, instead of the Pathfinder
Guardian?
or
No,
the Shepherd,
freelancer.
you're the freelancer. And freelancer. But yeah, it seems really interesting. It's come out a long time from now. There's certainly a lot more time to get excited about it.
I'm already excited about it. So hopefully they don't let me down.
Cool.
Anyways, moving along, we're going to hit up the Sony stuff now, because the last bit of that Microsoft stuff isn't really all that important.
Well, they're re-releasing the original Xbox controller.
Cool.
It's got an LCD in it too, I think. It's
That's
weird.
like a third party item from what I read.
But it's coming. Like I think they are licensing it is the actual controller. So they were calling it the Duke. Hyperkin was showing it. They
Yeah.
partnered with Microsoft to bring it to the Xbox One and Windows 10.
I can live without that.
So it's interesting. Like, did that thing have bumpers and triggers, or was it just triggers?
I don't even remember.
Because it had the black and white button as well. So I'm like, to me, I feel like
I think
that.
it just had triggers,
Okay,
but I'm
so-
not sure.
it's not like a current Xbox controller wouldn't be able to play the stuff, but obviously, if people really want the black and white buttons instead of the bumpers, then they can buy the Duke.
Right.
So
All right. Sony. Gold and silver PS4 Slims are available. Who cares? You already have a PS4.
Yeah, the gold ones are cheap because nobody wants them. I'm guessing. So they're like, you can
No, they're
have this
all-
for $250.
they're all $250 now, I think,
Yeah.
for the most part, anyway.
Yellowstone is here from Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota.
Thanks for
Welcome.
joining, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about different colored systems. That doesn't mean anything to me. Shenmue 3 has been delayed until 2018, late 2018.
They didn't show it at all.
No,
did
they didn't. But
No.
that was announced
That's-
somewhere in there.
That's sad.
That's a bummer because I know a lot of people were pretty excited about that. What else here? Dissidia Final Fantasy NT has been announced for the PS4. The arcade version of the game, and Noctis was unveiled. Launches early 2018. Didn't even hear anything about that. The new story trailer was released for Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age. I'm kind of pumped on this because I really liked Final Fantasy XII, specifically because it took place in Ivalice, and I really like that environment. So I may end up picking this up. But I watched the trailers, and I was like, oh, man, like I haven't played a JRPG in like 10, maybe 12 years. I don't know if I can do it anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it when it actually comes out. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown will include a VR mode for PSVR and is delayed
Ooh.
until early 2018.
Yep.
Vomit
I also
Simulator.
just read today that the VR mode will have somewhere between 12 to 15 hours of gameplay,
That's awesome.
which is sweet.
I've never
So-
played an Ace Combat game, but that might be enough to make me pick it up.
Right on. Yeah. I played enough of Eve on PSVR that I'm pumped to play something that's not in space, maybe. So I figured they could be a little more creative with the landscapes and things.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little more of what the system's capable of doing in that environment, which makes me pretty pumped.
Yeah, Joel popped in to say, question to end the podcast, who won E3 for you? So we can talk about that at the end. And hello, Electric Mastro. Yeah, Ace Combat looks cool.
Yeah. Next up is Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back. It was announced
Bubsy.
and is something that exists fall of
Why?
2017.
I don't even
care
remember
about
seeing
Bubsy.
that.
The last Bubsy game.
I watched the whole Sony
No,
thing
you
with
didn't.
you
Was it-
guys. Didn't
This
No, you
was
didn't.
this was on.
We didn't watch it all.
Yeah,
it
this
was
was
on the
a-
pre-stream. They
Oh,
started an
okay.
hour early.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just don't even. When was the last Bubsy game? That came out on like
I don't know.
Sega CD in like 1995.
we can move on
Like,
from
give me a
Bubsy.
break.
I don't know if anybody's been waiting for Bubsy. but
Yeah.
I'm
it's here.
sorry if that's all you're looking forward to.
Undertale was announced for the PS4 and Vita, including physical editions. Cool, I guess. I don't know. I didn't.
Sure.
Don't know
Yeah, I
much
mean,
about
it's supposed to be a
Undertale.
great game. Haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I'll just get it on PC anyways, I'm sure.
Uncharted Lost Legacy debuted with a story trailer showing just how cool it is to have Chloe and Nadine together. I think we can all agree that we can never have too much Uncharted. August 22nd. That's pretty exciting if you're an Uncharted fan.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. You finished 4, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite good.
What did you think of the trailer?
I mean, it looks gorgeous. It looks just as gorgeous as 4 did. I'm excited to have the two female characters together because it's kind of good to get away from Nathan Drake finally. Like, 4 was a good send-off for him, and to see them kind of bring Uncharted elsewhere, I think it's going to be very fun and interesting. And if you had the season pass for Uncharted 4, you will get this game for free. Or in the season pass.
Cool. Yeah, Electric Maestro says the Bubsy game is being made by Black Forest Games, the devs of Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, and he quite liked that game, so he's pretty interested.
Yeah, I've heard that Gianna Sisters game is actually quite good. So they're kind of a developer that has a lot of fondness for like older things.
I just didn't know Bubsy was still a thing. I didn't realize
it wasn't really until this announcement. Yeah,
I just
so,
don't
like,
really remember Bubsy, so.
Yeah, it wasn't really like Bubsy's not Sonic.
Yeah, when you've
Bubsy
got
was never Sonic.
when you've got Mario and Sonic and what was
we should hash out the tiers of like platform game, like that. You've got the Mario and the Sonic at the top, and then you've got like
Gex.
And Bubsy.
And what about the Rocket Knight Adventures dude? He was like pretty hardcore
Yeah.
for Sega for a while.
Rayman, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rayman
Rayman,
could be in there
Vector Man.
too.
Vector Man is super cool though.
Yeah,
I
the
love
different
Vector Man.
mascots.
Yeah, we need to tier like
Earthworm Jim.
tier 1.
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm
Crash,
Jim's is like
Crash
tier 2.
Bandicoot. Booger Man was one of my favorites growing
Booger
up.
Man.
we
was
could
pretty
do
good.
an entirely
Yeah,
separate
we'll
episode
come,
on this.
we'll come back to that idea someday.
Oh man, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds was announced, and it's coming out
Yay.
later this year. This looked beautiful.
Yes,
I mean the game in
just
general
want
looks
more
beautiful.
of that game, so I'm pretty happy to see that coming out.
Yeah, that's pretty
So,
exciting.
yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it was doing more with the tribe in the game that like lived in concert with the machines even before the final events of the game essentially happened. So it'll be interesting to see more from.
Oh yeah,
about
I
them.
remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay,
So
that should be cool.
Yeah. What's up next? Days Gone. That they showed us like an updated gameplay trailer, which is pretty cool. It looks incredible.
I'm more interested in this game now.
Yeah.
We saw it last year. They're like, here's a zombie game. I was like, don't care about zombies. But then watching how they it seems like the game is going to be about utilizing hordes of zombies against Far Cry like outposts and like seeing how that plays
being
out.
able to use the environment against the enemy is
Yeah,
very
and
interesting.
Like a lot of those games, like The Last of Us, for instance, it seems like people will be just as much of an enemy as nature.
Yep.
Or
Yeah, that was what I said
Twisted
during the
nature.
stream was that I bet the message of the game is that the humans are the bigger monster.
yes.
Yeah. Next up, Shadow of the Colossus is being remade for the PS4. It's coming in 2018. This one,
That's
I think,
high on my list.
I think
of
everyone,
things I saw.
everyone watching the stream got wet pants from this one.
Well, I'm super excited personally because I didn't own a PS2.
Yeah.
So I missed out on that game, but I always read about how fantastic it was, and I'm just hoping this is very much a direct translation of that game. Just
Said they're going to be
fancier
like
looking.
it is an actual remake, so it sounds like they might tweak the controls a bit, but the
Well, that's
controls
fine.
like if they make Shadow of the Colossus less floaty, like those like the I forget
those
his
other
name, but the Eco and the
Team
and
Eco
the,
games.
yeah, the Team Eco games, like if they make it less floaty and tighter, I'm totally okay with that too. So it looks
It's the
gorgeous.
same company that remade Metal Gear Solid, right?
They
For the
they did
GameCube?
it's the guys who put together the Metal Gear Solid Legacy collection.
Okay.
That
Did
had
they do a good
2 and
job?
3. Yeah, I mean it all works very well. That was more of a remaster than a remake, but it's going to be. It looks fantastic, and
Right on.
like since it's being developed by somebody other than Team Eco, we might see it in a reasonable amount of time.
Right.
So Joel is mentioning Knack 2. I don't remember seeing that in
It
the
was
real
not-
either, but
it-
I just read that it was a thing, and I was a little confused by that because I didn't think Knack did that well.
Yeah, Knack didn't necessarily do that well, but it was the brainchild of the guy that made the PS4 for Sony,
Okay.
Mark Cerny. So I feel like they were kind of like,
Throwing
yeah,
him a
you
bone
can
here.
you can have another one.
Sure.
So it's
All they
apparently
needed to do is just give everyone that game with the PS4 when it came out.
it's apparently going to be $40 on September 5th.
Hopefully
so.
by now he's developed a knack for that type of thing, and it's
So in 2 months after it releases,
Turns out better.
It'll be a PlayStation Plus Gold freebie.
It took a long time. I don't even Knack still
still
hasn't
hasn't
been one.
even made it, yeah.
So you know what? It probably won't happen.
Next up, God of War Returns. It's coming out early 2018.
that looks more and more interesting every time I see it.
I love it, man.
It looked less interesting to me.
I don't think so at all.
It looks more like God of War, which I don't necessarily love. And the first trailer that they showed looked very interesting to me. And then seeing this one just come down to beat 'em up with different weapons, I'm kind of like, eh.
The first trailer was like the beginning of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, totally. But it had Kratos in it. And I was like, all right, I'm interested to see where Kratos being a terrible father is, like how that's going to work out. And so it doesn't
How do you know
necessarily.
he's a terrible father?
Because he is. You know
Just
he is.
face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're it's almost like they were told, like, we need to get a little bit more back to what God of War is, kind of, and I kind of don't appreciate that. That's me putting words in somebody else's mouth, but I don't know. I'm skeptical of God of War.
I'm a big fan of the first God of War. It was one of the first games I ever finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I have a knack for not finishing games.
Oh,
Okay. Move on. Let's go.
Anyways, but I'm kind of excited for God of War. I think it looks cool. I like the
We'll see.
subject matter of them doing Vikings this time around instead of the was it Greek or Roman? I don't remember which mythology it was mixed in with, but
It's mostly Greek, I think.
yeah. I like the idea of the Viking mythology being roped into it this time.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. And Vikings, they're always just kind of cast in a poor light other than producing some of the most gorgeous women in the world.
Yeah.
So, Destiny 2 is returning with a cool story trailer. They showed us that sweet story trailer showing off how evil and terrible the Cabal are and that our light can be taken away and we can die as Guardians. Yeah. I'm so pumped for Destiny 2. It's not even funny. And there's going to be more PlayStation exclusive content, like a new strike, some weapons and armor, and an exclusive exotic, and a Crucible map. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it looked like a sniper rifle that has 3 different forms.
Yes.
Arc, Void, and Solar, but it wasn't clear to me. I don't know if anybody got any confirmation of whether or not you can select which it is, or there's just 3 different
I think
iterations
it's selectable.
maybe it's just random. Every time you shoot it, it's RNG.
That would be awful.
So RNGs can fuck you over even more.
Yeah. Bravo Team was announced for PSVR. I don't even remember what
Hey,
it
a
is.
VR game. It was the game that looks like Time Crisis for VR.
Oh yeah, that looked awesome.
I'm down.
Yeah,
it's a
'cause that's what I
cover
want.
shooter. It's a cover shooter.
I
for
want
VR.
cover shooters in VR. I want tons of those.
Yes, but we all know what you really want in VR, and that was shown off too. Skyrim.
Skyrim. Yep. I'm excited for Skyrim VR. That's not what I really want in VR, actually, but
you want
that's
Fallout, right?
No, I want Time Crisis. I do want I want Fallout in VR as well, which unfortunately we're not getting on PSVR yet. They haven't really counted it out, so to speak.
Yeah.
But having Skyrim in VR is super intriguing. I don't know if I'm prepared to spend $60 more on Skyrim.
That was probably one of the bigger actual surprises of I didn't expect to see this happen in E3. Not that I necessarily think it's going to be great. Not that I necessarily am even going to pick it up. I probably will because playing another full-featured game on VR would be great. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, I read an interesting thing on Reddit the other day about Skyrim VR in that there are over 300,000. There's a lot of people that have played Skyrim.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
And most of them have invested hundreds of hours in
It's kind of
playing the
scary.
game.
I mean, that might be a difficult thing to. I don't know what I'm saying here. It's scary. Nobody has played a game like that in VR yet. I
Right.
mean,
So
what might that do to someone's psyche?
well, not only that, but the big thing is PlayStation VRs are more readily available now.
Yeah.
They are no longer hard to find. You can find them at any store you go to
Yes.
now. You can go to Meijer and pick them up, which is ridiculous.
Is there a chance that Gojo, for instance, could get Skyrim VR and never return to the real world, just die?
I think that's entirely possible. So yeah, again, there are people,
That would be sad.
hundreds of thousands of people have played this game for hundreds of hours at a time. I personally know that I have probably somewhere around 500 to 600 hours logged in Skyrim between all the different characters and accounts that I have on the 2 various platforms that I have it on. That being said, I don't think I need VR version of Skyrim for myself, but I can see this being a great launching point for VR to be in more homes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued.
I'll get it when it's on sale, probably.
Before we skip ahead, there were a few other things in between on the list here.
Yep.
Detroit Become Human, new David Cage game from the guy. He's the guy that did Heavy Rain.
Looks
and,
interesting. I
Beyond
feel
Two Souls.
obligated to play it because it's based in Detroit.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. This is the Midwest Game Nerds, so we'll
So
probably have to play it.
We have to. It's like our stomping grounds.
And Insomniac Spider-Man.
That
They
looks
had a big
fantastic.
game demo.
I didn't care for another Spider-Man game, but after watching that, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool.
It just looks so dynamic, and the fact that it's like open world and that kind of cinematic but also action gamey to me, like even I know Brian was saying that the combat looks a lot like Batman, which it totally does.
A lot of
like
the
it's
aspects
absolutely
of it look,
Batman.
They took from a good source though.
Yeah, and I think they're molding it in the right way to make it fit Spider-Man, but then also the insanely cinematic moments of like firing off enough web to like catch the helicopter and save it, like Spider-Man saving people while he's fighting. It looks awesome.
Yes.
So to see them meld the Batman type gameplay into an even more cinematic style,
I guess it's
looks
been
great.
confirmed there will be different suits and stuff too, like they did with the Batman games.
That's awesome. I want, like, will they be functionally different?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll see.
What else?
Yeah,
Where is that?
the Inpatient.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, that looks creepy.
It is a prequel set 60 years before Until Dawn in the sanitarium. You play a patient with amnesia, and, well, you can see the horror possibilities of this scenario, so says the guys on NeoGAF. I don't know if anybody's played Until Dawn yet. Joel, I don't know if you played it, but if you haven't played it, you probably should because it's probably one of the best
really
PlayStation 4
inexpensive
games.
at this point.
Yeah.
I highly recommend everyone give this game an opportunity to shine.
Electric Mastro says, since Insomniac is handling it, I expect this Spider-Man game to be less shovelware and more actually fun. And most movie games seem to end up as shovelware these days.
You are correct,
Totally.
sir.
Well, we don't even really get that many movie games anymore because they were just garbage all the time.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, I don't believe, is actually tied to Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, I don't think Tom Holland's in
I
it.
hope not.
I think it's totally separate. But I'm totally down for it. It looks great.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else here? Oh, there's a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game coming out for VR.
That looks.
That looks stupid as hell.
That's the reason I'm going to get a VR.
You know why? You know
Don't
why
even
that's
make
what
fun
this
of
is? Because the VR thing that they showed off for Final Fantasy 15 last
All
year,
everybody
I'm
did
joking,
was
by
look
the
at the
way.
one girl's boobs.
it was a super pervy thing. Like, it was
Yeah.
just a bunch of people looking down the girl's shirt in the car next to
It
you.
was
So
Cleavage Physics Simulator 2016.
pretty much, yeah. So if this is it,
Yeah, I can't believe that game is going to exist. I thought it was like a prank or something.
No.
No, that's ridiculous.
They showed off Moss for PlayStation VR. This is about a little mouse warrior guy. I think it's somehow tied to Mossflower and the Brian Jacques.
thought I read that it's not.
Yeah, I
but-
thought so, but then somebody else is saying it's maybe Secret of Nim. I don't think so. It looks kind of cool. I'm kind of interested.
I personally
this,
don't
this
care
looks
what it's
like
tied to. It looks cool.
it looks like something that what was it? The VR. What was the robot game in? Why am I drawing a blank?
Robot Rescue.
Yeah, Robot Rescue on the VR demo disc. It looks similar to that, and I liked that game and wanted a full Robot Rescue game, but
Yeah.
we only got the one level. So hopefully this will kind of scratch that itch. What else here? We got a whole bunch of little bits.
Yeah. So they showed off a bunch of VR, which is great.
Yeah, because it's glad they're putting.
Yeah.
There was for a while there was a little bit of concern that Sony wasn't going to support VR as much as they are now. So it's good to see them putting that at ease.
Yeah.
Super hot VR.
Yeah.
So excited.
Actually,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not, but that's cool.
That game is mind blowing on the PC, and the VR version of it is completely different. Like, it's a totally different game.
Okay.
So I'm totally
Do they have a VR version on PC?
yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's Oculus exclusive at the moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but in terms of anything else from Sony, there's a Gran Turismo Sport trailer that came out fall of this year, so that'll be pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see it up against Forza 7, see
Yeah.
how they are. But other than that, I don't think there's much from Sony. There's obviously there's a whole bunch of multi-platform stuff, but I don't think there's a whole lot that any of us care about too much. Beyond Good and Evil 2,
Yeah.
supposedly actually happening.
That
That's
was-
exciting.
That's another developer that was like emotional on stage next to the Mario Rabbids guy.
Yeah. Ubisoft was just, they had the feels this time.
Yeah, Ubisoft was kind of killing it too with what was the Skull and Bones, their pirate game.
That could be fun.
That looks awesome. It looks like a way more intense version of all of the sailing from Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
If
Yeah.
it comes out this fall, I might check it out just to scratch my Sea of Thieves itch
Yeah. 'Cause
while
we're
I
gonna be
wait for
waiting
that
Sea
to
of
come
Thieves.
out.
Bethesda did show off Fallout VR, which is kind of a big deal. Bethesda was kind of a letdown, in my opinion. Like, their whole conference was kind of boring.
That Wolfenstein trailer was super cool, but it just
Yeah.
made me think, oh, I need to actually play those games because I own them and I haven't played them yet.
Yeah. So, but Fallout VR, I don't think, did they add full locomotion to the controls or no? Do you remember? Is it just point and click?
I don't actually know. I'll look into that.
Because I
right
know
now.
the Doom VFR is point and click movement, and I know that Skyrim VR is point and click movement if you're using the Move controllers, but if you use the DualShock, it is full locomotion. So something to consider.
Yeah, I would assume it's.
There's no way I would want to play Skyrim VR without the potential to get sick walking around.
Yeah.
I want to be fully immersed, or I don't want to play it at all.
The Evil Within 2 trailer looked kind of cool. I didn't play the first game. Jason loved it. If you like survival horror, I think that's probably up your alley.
Ooh, the new Dishonored.
Yeah, the new Dishonored
excited
Death
about
of the
that.
Outsider standalone adventure in the Dishonored universe features, is it Dowd? Is that how his name
Yeah,
is pronounced?
I
And
think.
Billy Lurk, available September 15th on all the platforms. I like Bethesda's whole announcement thing was just kind of lackluster because everybody, I think, knew Fallout 4 was coming, but and it is only coming to the Vive. It is not coming to Oculus
That made me
or
mad.
PSVR, which is kind of
Having built that PC, I was thinking, maybe Oculus Rift eventually,
kind of
because
a
I can't
bummer.
do the room scale thing with the amount of room I
I
have.
think it will work for Oculus. Have you seen anything saying it won't?
Yeah, every announcement,
It says it's for Vive specifically.
it's Vive only, no support for Oculus, according to like everything I've looked up. But if somebody can find
that
otherwise,
doesn't mean that
that's cool.
PC modders or somebody.
Yeah,
won't
so
come
I'm
up
sure
with a
someone will
way.
figure it out. But
Because I was pretty certain that the Oculus could play pretty much any Vive games.
yeah,
Okay,
But
I'll see. It's gonna be a long time till I get one of those, anyways.
The Witcher 3 is getting an update for Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, so that's exciting because that game already looks incredible.
Yeah,
So good to know.
Electric Mastro said he's playing the first Beyond Good and Evil right now.
Nice.
So much polish into it, it's worth giving it a try. I really want to play the HD version, which came out a couple of years ago. So.
Right on.
I think I might have gotten that like free with Xbox Gold or something at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I haven't checked it out yet.
I think we should cut back to our crossplay discussion.
Well,
and
I had one last thing to
Okay.
say. Monster Hunter World is coming.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
forgot about that.
So-
Monster Hunter World
yeah.
coming. I think that is Xbox and PS4. It is
And PC.
multi-platform.
That was one of the more impressive things too. I like
Yeah. that
reading
looks really
about
cool.
Monster Hunter games before. I just wasn't really interested in that whole
Yeah.
IP, but
Yeah.
like it looks cool. I'm interested, and it's a multiplayer game, from what
Indeed.
I understand. So that's
So yeah,
fun.
that's our E3 wrap up of all the games and stuff that were announced.
We probably missed something, but
Yeah, if there's
it's
anything
a
else anybody
reasonable
wants us
job
to
for
talk
about an hour and
about,
a half.
send us feedback, midwestgamers@gmail.com.
Yeah,
But in the meantime, we're going to talk crossplay because...
do we want to do who won for us?
Yeah,
in
okay, because
particular?
Joel was asking. I personally feel as though Microsoft won. They just... Everything they announced and they just did a really nice job.
Yeah.
I thought, and I mean, I know their format was a little bit longer than everyone else's, but I think they needed to say a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was necessary, and I think they did a great job doing it. And I mean, they had less technical issues than PlayStation had. Sony had issues with
oh yeah, the sound.
sound,
That
and
was ridiculous.
I mean, yeah. So I think Microsoft won.
Brian?
Yeah, I would probably lean that direction too. They didn't show off what I would consider my favorite games that I saw.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Without the Scorpio, I would put all three of them in a deadlock because they all showed me a lot of games that I'm really excited for. Like, I think all three came out with a lot of really strong video games.
I mean, I'm glad I have all the platforms.
Yeah,
this
so
time around.
I think I think overall it was a really good E3.
Agreed.
The Scorpio sounds like a fantastic piece of hardware. I hope it's fantastic. the Xbox One X, excuse me, same
Mhm.
thing. But in the long run, I don't personally need one. I think they kind of lost out being later to the game than Sony was. Like,
Probably.
if the One X would have came out before the Pro at this point, like I think it would be, like I would have bought one. Like
Yeah.
that would have happened. Period. But now that they're like, hey, all of our games are still coming out for PC, and you know, the Xbox One S has UHD Blu-ray. I have no reason to buy a One X now, so
Right.
I don't think I'm going to. That could change. But so in the long run, I think Microsoft won. I think they did a really great job of messaging the One X as compared to Sony's like, hey, here's a new one,
Right.
and that was like
It's
all
bigger
it was.
than the other one.
Yeah, it's a little bigger.
It looks like two of them stacked together.
We
It's
added
like
a
PlayStation
USB
sandwich.
port. You get one more USB port,
And
And-
500 gigabytes.
plus boost mode is coming way later.
Yeah.
The
But we're not
USB
going to
ports
tell you that.
Pissed me off, by the way. I can't even fit my thumb drive I use all the time in the front.
Yeah, I know.
'cause
I know.
it's too
They're
skinny.
terrible with that because even the first PlayStation.
It's like
was
a
kinda
normal
hard,
size
too.
thumb drive.
It is. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Joel asked, out of all the games that we've said, what are the top 2 games that you're most excited about? I know one of John's is Destiny. Actually, I have not Destiny. Destiny's a no-brainer, which I said in the chat here.
We're gonna just pretend that Destiny doesn't count.
Yeah, if I don't get to pick Destiny, I am most excited for Anthem, and I'm most excited for Mario Rabbids. Like, I'm pumped for both of those games. So I know it's Alex. You'll be a little more difficult to choose because you dig a lot of those indie titles too. So
Yeah, there's a lot of good indie stuff, but even like there wasn't a ton here. Like The Last Night looks fantastic.
Yes.
So that might be on there somewhere. But in terms of even like if I just restricted it to AAA stuff, Super Mario Odyssey is definitely up there, and I'd probably also have to go with Shadow of the Colossus because it's
Yeah.
just that good. Like I would be so down to play it again. So I think that would probably be where I'm at.
right on, Brian. What about you?
Well, I kind of was leaning that direction too, but I would say Mario Odyssey and maybe that Last Night game, The Last Night. That
Yeah.
looks.
Right on.
I just really like the whole style of that, and
Yeah.
there's not enough cyberpunky kind of games out there.
Well, not when it gets stolen and put up for ransom on the internet
Well,
by
yeah.
hackers.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to our social media, you would see
Yeah.
that was announced.
Or just read game news
the CD
that we
Projekt Red
usually
was
post
hacked.
a day or two late.
But yeah, so those are our top 2 games, I suppose. Let us know in the comments what your top 2 games are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so crossplay. I have been dying for the ability to play all of my games with all of my friends, no matter what system they have it on. Rocket League has kind of opened the doors between PlayStation and PC. So has Final Fantasy Online, the online Final Fantasy games 11 and 14.
Rocket
Yeah.
League, you can play PC and Xbox as well now.
Yeah, so there's that, and with the announcement of Minecraft coming to all of the systems and being able to interplay with everyone except PlayStation 4, there was a lot of people at E3 were questioning like
Yes.
why the hell not?
And a lot of heated discussion internally with our friends.
Right. So now it was my understanding that Sony's basic response was the people who play Minecraft are mostly children and we have to look out for the kids. And the response from Eurogamer, I believe it was, said, the interviewer said, well,
What about
Nintendo's
Nintendo?
entire player base is mostly children and they don't seem to care.
Yeah.
And Sony was like, well, that's their call. So, one, that's a total bullshit cop-out response from Sony, and they should know better than to just leave people with that bullshit.
I mean, in it's bullshit. It's an anti-consumer move. It is literally against Sony's interest to let this happen because they're basically just like, most people have PlayStations. If you want to play with your friends, buy a PlayStation. Like that's their logic. And
yeah.
it's shitty and it sucks.
With a game like Minecraft, especially, how many people own that game? I would imagine there are people that own a PlayStation that would love to play it with their friends that play it on PC and have played it for years
Yeah,
on PC.
I mean,
and
the
whatever.
fact, like, Gojo's got Minecraft on everything, I'm sure, but the fact that
Well,
I
now
know
he
if-
can play all of them at the same time with himself
Yeah, there we go.
on every platform.
So, it like that, given all of that stuff, Sony's argument of,
I just picture Gojo wearing the VR helmet playing Skyrim VR, but then he's got all these Minecrafts like set up around him. So he's not only playing VR but Minecraft at the same time.
Somehow
PlayStation VR picture in picture.
Yeah.
sitting on a toilet, eating food, staying alive somehow.
Sony's seemingly BS response of we need to protect the kids, I think holds a little bit of ground, because I think the idea that, like, Sony probably has strict protocols in their PlayStation Network agreements that will allow them to make certain moves on users if there's something that arises, like an abuse situation. And seeing those interact with Xbox and PC and everything, all of that, I think, is a bit of a mess. Obviously, it's never been a problem for PC. PC, like, you know, you could connect to things on a PC from a long, long time ago. I was a kid and I was like 7 years old and somebody sent me Goatsy and I was terrified. Like that's a real thing that happen. Those kinds of things happen. And obviously there was nobody to go
It's
to.
a learning experience.
There was nobody in those cases to be like, you know, like
No one to
I
hold
guess if I
responsible.
told mom and dad and it got really big, maybe they could be like, we need to sue AOL. But the fact that somebody could buy a PlayStation 4 and play a game with, like, play Minecraft and go and connect with somebody on Xbox, and then interfacially, if there's something that goes wrong there, in a jurisdictional sense, that is a really messy, terrible thing, because the parents could be like, Sony, why don't you have safeguards in place to stop this? And then they can't be like, well,
what can
we're
you
connected
do
with
so
Xbox
horrible in
One.
Minecraft? Like build a forest of 3D dicks or something?
I don't know. It's not necessarily just Minecraft. It's, you
I'm
know,
gonna do that now.
like it's all a big liability nightmare is the problem. So
It is,
I
but
don't.
that's why you have terms of service. That's why you make that stupid contract that nobody fucking reads, and you make them sign it before they can use the shit that they want to use. That's why that
Yes,
exists.
I
And
know I have no rights
that
anymore.
literally-
Every video game company owns my soul.
that literally covers every base of anything that could ever possibly happen on their network, and that's why it's there. So what's the big deal?
It's a little bit of that with also the Sony's on top. You come to us. Like, it's those two things combined.
But it's just funny because, like, what was it, 2 years ago, maybe? Sony was like, hey, we're willing to talk. We're willing to meet at the table and go over it. And now that Microsoft...
That's not what they said.
Okay, find
They said-
exactly what they
said. We've been supporting cross-platform play since the PlayStation 2 when Final Fantasy 11 could play on PS2 and PC. That was their... They're like,
I
we
do
have
remember-
always been accepting of cross-platform
They've had
play.
some cross-platform things. Yeah.
Yeah, they have some, and it's very limited to PC. But what I'm looking for is to be able to play my version of Destiny 2 on whichever platform I want with my friends, no matter what platform they're on.
I get it, and that's a great idea, and it would be fantastic.
Yes.
There's other logistical nightmares, though. Like, it's kind of okay now because it works with, like, Assassin's Creed and whatever the fuck Ubisoft comes out, because you got to have an Ubi Club whatever account. That's the reason that Star Trek VR, you can play between the Oculus, the Vive, and the PSVR. You can do that because it's not saying, like, there's no issues if John D 1703 on PSN and John D 1703 in Xbox try to play together, because they're linked on the Ubisoft side of things with Uplay.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 2 is going to be the same with Battle.net because you're going to have a Battle.net name. Battle.net does all of that for Overwatch and Diablo 2 or 3, all of those. Like, so you're going to have an account for all of these games that do that. Like, I don't know how Rocket League does that between if you have an Xbox and a PS4.
I don't know either because I don't recall.
I have no idea how that works, but
Having
it's
to make
kind
any
of a
sort of
logistical
account.
nightmare. Like, it kind of sucks.
I mean, yeah.
They can make it work. They've made it work. Obviously, Minecraft is going to do it.
I would
but
just like,
it's-
at the very least, like, I know it worked. It worked within the same family of consoles, like with Call of Duty. I want to say it was Ghost or something, which I fucking hated that game. But I played it on one generation of console and was able to play it on another one. Destiny was like that too. Actually, you could play on
You
a
could
360,
transfer your character.
and you didn't even have to transfer it. You could just log in on a 360, and then you could log in on Xbox One, and all your shit was there, and it worked fine. I would like to be able to do that between platforms, and I don't feel like that's too much to ask for. Like, if you're going to make me buy an extra copy of the game, fine. I get it. Sony wants their cut too. Fine. But I want the option to be able to not have to restart everything
That would be pretty
every
nice.
time I
Yeah.
decide I want to switch to a different platform.
And I'm open to that as well. And I'm okay
At
with
the very
giving-
least, I'm saying.
I'm okay with giving up the exclusives too. If that means I can play on whichever platform I want, whenever I want, with my friends, no matter what platform they're on. So, and again, I'll buy Destiny twice, like I just did for fucking PlayStation and Xbox. God, I can't believe I did. I spent like $300 on that stupid game. But I'm willing to spend $300 more if that gives me the ability to play how I want, when I want, with whoever I want.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think
I just think Sony's being a bitch about it, and
they totally, and I don't mean to sound like I'm defending. We all know that I'm
Fanboy.
the Sony fanboy. I'm
He
trying
even
to
has
give
the blue microphone.
I'm
Come on. I just noticed that.
I'm trying to give the
And I've got the yellow one because I'm a bitch, apparently. I'm yellow.
I'm trying to give the devil's advocate at least. Like I still absolutely think that it's bullshit. They
Yeah,
should be letting the Minecraft happen. They should be doing Rocket League. Like they should be letting all of these things play with each other when they can, because that kind of experience is not
just be
like, that's
upfront
awesome.
about it. I'm just own up to why you're not doing it is what I want from them.
That doesn't
Or just
even
be
work
like,
for
it's
me.
because our network is out of date compared to Microsoft's.
Which it also is.
That might
That's
be
also
what
a problem.
they don't want to fess up about.
You can't change your name
because
Like,
it's tied to the PlayStation 3
yeah,
network,
the
which
PSN.
is
Yeah, so
based on like pre-internet protocol or something. I don't know.
it uses telegraphs to log in.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want everybody to get along.
I do
So-
too, and it would be
Yes, we're never going to have world peace until we have free cross-platform play. That's really what it comes down to.
and I think I think Sony's going to cave. They will cave at some point. I don't know if it's going to take till the PS5. I don't know if it's going to take Microsoft being like, "Hey, guess what? We're not giving you any cool Minecraft shit anymore because that's right, we own it." That could be a thing. Like they could
Yeah.
do that. But
It would just be interesting to watch Minecraft support on PS4 go down the drain because of this.
It'll probably
It's-
take people
it's
like
entirely
us
possible.
to not buy 3 or 4 copies of Destiny for them to maybe cave too. That would probably help.
yeah. If you guys actually voted with your dollars
Yes.
instead of being like,
Stop
hey,
buying all this garbage DLC and stuff like that.
I just want to go home and play Destiny now.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope they cave at some point. I think they will.
We'll see.
I don't know
We'll see
when.
what happens.
I hope so too.
And it's not like the Destiny people have kind of already confirmed there will never be crossplay.
Well,
but-
not between PC and consoles. That's not.
Which
gonna
that's
happen.
the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, in some way. Yeah.
but
But
yeah.
anyways, if you're listening along and you have an opinion,
Pat says he's going to buy 6 copies.
okay, good,
Cool.
Yeah, so
of
are we.
just the Xbox one because he doesn't have a PlayStation.
He's gonna buy one for Xbox One and then one for his Xbox
That's
One
cool.
X.
There's 6 special editions.
Well-
there's 6 SKUs of Assassin's Creed.
I pre-ordered
By the
for
way.
PlayStation.
Isn't one of them like
so
$1,200?
Something like
If
that.
Pat can buy me an Xbox copy, I'll play with him.
Anyways, as I was saying, if you have an opinion about crossplay and want to tell us about it, please do send us feedback at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com or Twitter at MGN Podcast. And don't forget to add us on Instagram at Midwest Game Nerds. And again, if you're watching us on Twitch, thank you so much. Please do not forget to follow us so you know when we go live. We go live every other Sunday at 7:30 Eastern in the United States of America. I've got some of the other times listed on our Twitch page, so definitely check that out. And while you're listening or even watching along, head over to MidwestPodcastNetwork.com/support. Check out all the various ways you can support us. We have a support store where you can buy shirts, hoodies, beer koozies, and there's a donate button if you don't feel like buying anything and you just want to help out. Video games, again, are very expensive, but if you throw us a couple of bucks and maybe a few other people throw us a couple extra bucks, we can save you extra money down the line by wasting that money on games that suck so you don't have to. And don't forget to check out our Amazon affiliate link. When you shop on that Amazon affiliate link, you make money for us by buying things that you already probably want to buy on your own anyways. So please do buy through that Amazon affiliate link when you're on Amazon. And don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher so we can climb the charts. We're talking about Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher Radio. I think that's pretty much all we have to say about any of that. I want to thank all of our Twitch followers and the Twitch viewers for sticking around. Mr. Bula, a.k.a. Pat, and Joel, thank you so much. And Electric Maestro, and who was the other guy that jumped in?
Yeah, a lot of good feedback. Thanks.
There was another guy in there somewhere.
We did get 2 follows.
Oh, good. Cool. Good. I'm glad.
I can pull them up real quick. If you vamp for a second. I do want to say horrormovieyearbook.com. Go there. They just put out the class of 1995. But also, with regards to the Midwest Game Nerds, they did do a post. Willie did a post about the DLC we need for the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
Go check that out and weigh in. Let us know what you think is necessary.
Also, isn't Preacher Season 2 coming up?
Preacher Season 2 starts next Sunday. Gone to Texas is going to be coming back this week with a quick primer episode, and then we'll be back in full force to review the 2-night premiere next week. Probably out on Tuesday at the latest, I hope. So, if you haven't seen Preacher Season 1 is up on Netflix and Hulu. Check it out. Listen to some of our episodes. And come join us for the conversation for Preacher Season 2. I don't think we're going to stream that one live, but it will be edited and up the day or two afterwards. So,
yeah.
Arunada and Electric Maestro, thank you for following us on Twitch.
We appreciate it. And Jelloston, thanks for jumping in at some point.
Yep. And Pat, thank you for watching.
Yeah, always. Pat and Joel. We love you guys.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. If you have any interest in checking out the other podcasts on the network, please go to MidwestPodcastNetwork.com and check it out. Again, Horror Movie Yearbook, the great guys. They've been on here for, we had Willie on here for 2 episodes. Tim was on with Willie for 1 episode. And also Gone to Texas, Westworld FM. And the archives of the Midwest Film Nerds podcast are there. And our downloads last week doubled for the podcast. So whatever you guys are doing, if you're helping out, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
It was cool to see those numbers skyrocket like that. We're already halfway through the month of June, and our downloads have reached more downloads than what we had in May. So we really appreciate any promo you do on your end. So thank you very much, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.